Alex Press is a labor reporter and staff writer for the Jacobin. She's been on the ground in Erie, Pennsylvania, and joins me now with more on this so-called hot labor summer. Alex, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, according to Cornell's online strike tracker, which apparently is a thing, year to date, there have been more than 350 strikes and labor actions nationwide, 70 right here in LA. It seems like there are more strikes than normal. Is that really true? Is this normal?
Yeah, I mean, if normal is the past couple years, there absolutely are both more strikes and more new union campaigns. Historically, we're not reaching the levels of millions of workers striking like there were back in the 20th century. But, as you mentioned, I was just in Erie where 1,400 workers are on strike at this gigantic locomotive manufacturing plant at Wabtec. And between the UPS strike, which is the largest private sector contract in the country, some 340,000 workers, and even a little further down the horizon in mid-September, we'll see the expiration of the big three automakers contract with the UAW. That's another 150,000 workers. So there's really something happening here. That's not just an illusion created in the media.
So why is that happening?
Yeah, I'd say there's three explanations for this, sort of three factors here. The first is that the pandemic made it clear to people that their bosses viewed them as expendable. Secondly, the Bernie Sanders campaigns of 2016 and 2020 introduced class politics to millions of people and put that back on the table. When you speak to young workers, such as those at Starbucks who are on strike, the workers who are trying to unionize Amazon, they'll often point to that as kind of a key moment for them in changing their thinking about how they could make political change. Third, I'd say that we're living in a time of record inequality, and a growing number of people are seeing unions as the most effective means of fighting back.
We know more people are striking. Are they getting their way? Are these strikes successful?
Yeah, I mean, even just the threat of a strike can often lead to a success. So, the writers right now in Hollywood, of course, are on strike, and their partners in SAG-AFTRA just put back that overwhelming strike authorization vote for their own contract, which expires in just a few days. And just that show of force itself could lead to a strong, fair deal at the bargaining table, because a strike is a worker's strongest weapon, right? It's their ability to cut off profits to an employer. And when they exercise that, or even just threaten to exercise that weapon, it can actually force an employer to the table in a way that that employer never would have otherwise agreed to.
Meanwhile, even if you're not in a union, or maybe you're running a corporation yourself, these strikes certainly impact you. Can you talk about the ways that these strikes potentially impact the everyday lives of people who have nothing to do with these companies?
Sure. So people may be inconvenienced by these strikes. Of course, you can't watch your favorite TV show with the writers on strike. You might not get your UPS packages should the UPS workers strike. But this is how workers can exercise power in society. So if you care about the inequality that we see on display every day, and that you certainly are affected by, you're going to want to support these workers until they win. Unions fight for their members, of course, to get better pay and benefits, but they also fight for all workers, right? When they win, that can raise standards across the board, as other employers then have to improve their own pay and benefits to compete for those workers. So I'd say that the inconvenience one might be experiencing now or might experience in the future with these strikes really pales in comparison to the benefits that we can all enjoy should they be successful.
Alex Press, thanks so much for your reporting on the ground, and thanks for sharing your perspective tonight.
Thanks so much.